All right, we are going to try this. Part 2 of the tulips that we started, 2 weeks ago. Seems like a lot's happened lately. The weather's changing, our trees are completely leafed out, and we are in full-blown summer, right? So let's hop on this before we have any more digital glitches. Zoom gets weird, Facebook, all that. So we're going to try it. Trying to collect my thoughts here. I was sitting underneath the dogwood tree. I love dogwoods. They have this, when you look at them, they have these like flowers that stream. They're like Christmas lights, the way they go around the tree. And then trying to look at them and paint them, I'm having this crazy time trying to photograph to get that feeling of the branches. I saw a master's painting, I think it was a Picasso, that had that feeling of the tree branches. It's very Japanese looking. It's a challenge. Okay. So my mind's there. The key thing here is I got to go outside for an hour and sit underneath a dogwood tree, looking up to the sky, seeing the branches and those flowers. And so my mind is still in there. So I'm coming in, I'm going to grab myself, I'm going to do a watercolor. All right. When you get into a watercolor and you get, and right now we started it and now stopped it and now jumping back into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the photograph, assess where we're at on the painting, and then just kind of have a mental plan of where I want to go with this. So with that, I'm going to flip the camera and see what happens, because watercolor, you just never know what's going to happen. So we're going to look for some hidden gems. Okay. All right. So this is what we have. This is where I'm at. We started with, if you remember, we start with the simple shapes, the tulip, the green shape here of the leaves of the tulip and the grass. And then this a little bit darker area here of the dead leaves, and then this flat area up here. And the photograph, because it's a picture on an iPad, so it's a lot darker. It's a lot darker than what I want to paint it. I want to keep it light. Since it's watercolor, I want to try to keep the vibrancy of the color and light and airy. And there's this tendency when we paint to want to paint everything, almost like a color book. And with watercolor, it's prettier if you let some of the white of the paper shine through. And that just takes luck sometimes, and practice, and just play. So what you can do, since my paper is dry, what you can do is reestablish these leaves, because right now I have just this clump of green. So I can go back with the pencil, and remember, whenever I do this for you, it's a demo, so it's dark. I draw dark, but when you are in your studio, keep your pencil lines light. So this is a leaf that I want to define. I want to keep this light area, that lit area. Here's another leaf that goes here. we've got the stems of the tulips. And then this stem is hidden, and it comes over. It's not worried about catching all of them, all of the leaves, but just enough to like the edges, the way they pop out. And I don't paint. I'm like preserving these areas of what I'm trying to say something. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll just see what happens. Oh, and do you see this leaf? This little one that comes out? That's nice. So it's marking these areas that when I go to put in the dark around for the dark leaves, I want to keep those areas light or in the green family. And like this is kind of brushy, so I'm not too worried about drawing that. And oh, maybe this leaf back here. I'm going to extend that one out a little bit more. And then this leaf right back in here. And that's it. Okay, so since I'm working in watercolor, we have to wet our paints once be wet. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after these tulips. And sometimes when you're painting in watercolor, you paint behind them. So what that means is the tulip, the red, is a positive space, and what's behind it is a negative space. You see those, oh shoot. Hey, Mark, I got a paper towel again. Could you grab that? I don't know why I do that. I do that all the time. So I'm going to grab some of that color that's with the purples. I'm going to mix up some of the dark. Some of these dark bits right in here, because to make something look light, you have to put something dark beside it. And I'm just dabbing for color right now. Thank you. There we go. I'm going to test it. Oh, that's a nice color. And I like the warmth of it. So it's a dark, warm color. And I'm going to just lay in some beside the tulip. Just start to define the edge of the tulip. And then since there are leaves back there, do you see how the dark, there we go. And I'm just laying in bits and pieces like leaves. You know, there's dark pieces and then there's light pieces. And it's layering. There we go. And creating an edge along that tulip. It's making it so it's popping out a little bit. And I'm just going to think dead leaf thoughts. And down here, I want to make that really dark down in here. Look at that. Okay. I was wondering what happened to that. It zoomed out. Watch that. See it pop? You see how that pops? Is that cool? And then now I'm thinking grassy thoughts. Yeah. Do you see that? So when you think these thoughts, when you paint clouds, think clouds. When you paint leaves, think leaves. Grass, think grass. So I'm not really painting them, I'm thinking them. Okay, what does that mean? I don't know. Try it and see if it works for you. Okay. And so what I did, I started out with lighter color and then I'm putting dark on top. Does it make sense? Do you see this area right in here? I'm just going to grab a little dark in there. So now I'm painting around the leaf. Do you see that? And I'm putting and the color, it doesn't really matter. If I want to make it a little bit greener, I can do that. But it doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be dark. Ooh, that's red. I want it to be greener. I'm cheating. I'm jumping into my greens. There. See how that is? There we go. And then it's too wet. Oh, look at that. So by putting, do you see I'm holding my brush? I'm not holding it like a pencil. I'm orchestrating. I use that in my studio with the student. I'm orchestrating this painting. So I'm allowing the brush to move. Go. And I'm just trying to play and respond to what I see. And if it gets too spotty, like right in there, I can take a clean brush. I'm just wiping off the excess color, and then I can just tickle it so it blends up a little bit. And then I can go back with a green and mix. You know, one thing I didn't do, I didn't pre-mix colors. So there, that's a pretty color. There. Yeah. It's better to pre-mix color, but I don't know. Sometimes do what I say, not what I do, I guess. There. I'm just going to add a little bit there and just a little bit of sunshine. Yeah. Letting some of the white show. And then I want to put some of this grassy stuff is a dark blue-green. So I'm going to get some color out there. Oh, yeah. Now that's not a pretty green. Huh? Maybe. And this, actually, I like it. It's a little bright, a little fake, but it's kind of pretty. And then I'm just thinking grass thoughts now. And do you see how dark it is? I'll just go into those and then Do you see how the leaf pops? Because I'm going around the leaf. I'm painting around it. And I'm just kind of dancing at the tip of the brush because grass tends to go in all different directions. Okay. And then this area right down here, I'm going to pull some of that green down through here. It's good with color to bounce it around, not leave it in one spot. Like if I put color up here, I want to put it other places. Otherwise, you want it to move around the painting. Okay, and I just saw on the camera where can't really see the tulips, so I need to work on those. All right, let's get in these tulips. Clean brush. I'm gonna wipe it out. And they're so bright. So I'm gonna try to use really clean red. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get that cupping feel, so it's a little bit darker under here. Yeah. And I'm trying so hard not to paint all of it. The showing, how's it look on the camera, Mark?
Yeah, it's looking really good. The greens are stronger. It's a little more difficult to see the reds.
Mm. Just putting color in these. There we go.
Oh yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, what am I doing? So I'm kind of playing with there we go. There we go. Okay. I'm just, all right. Hoping for the best here. Okay. Susan, I love what you're doing on your, I'm so glad you're sharing in the group what you're doing with your tulips. I love the way you handled the paint. Your tulips are so beautiful. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm done. I got it. Let's see. I'm going to work on these stems. I want to make these stems darker. I get some color in here. Okay. Let's see. All right. Then I'm going to flatten some of this because it's got a little bit too busy. And then come in here. And okay, I don't want to overwork it. I'm right on the edge. All right. Okay, we're done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to dry. Let's see, where are we at? You know what? Do you see this yellow green right through here? I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab that yellow green. Let's see. Just make it a little bit stronger. Yeah, that's it. And a little bit darker here. So I'm just kind of following the leaf. Do you see these darks in the leaf like through here? I'm going to try to capture that. So I want to add some, but not too much. Does that make sense? I feel like it's, you know, when you're working pie crust dough, I'm imagining, I don't do pie crust, but if you overwork the dough, then it doesn't do its thing. It's kind of the same with this. You find a point where it's enough. Okay, I gotta switch cameras because this is a huge thing. This is huge. Okay. We never know when it's too much until we do too much. And if we treat every single piece of painting or drawing like this is it, this is my masterpiece, if we treat every single piece like that, we'll never grow. We'll always hold ourselves back. So sometimes you gotta destroy 100 to get one good one. I knew an artist that he was an abstract painter. He painted on rusty steel, and he would say that I'd have to make 100 to get 10 good ones to sell. So as an artist, I don't sit down and make a masterpiece or a finished painting every time. And none of my paintings, some are complete disasters, but that's okay. Because some are, wait, what did I just do here? I don't think do I even like this? Because something new is happening. But the thing that we have to do is just try. Just take that, you know, that 15 minutes and sit down and just throw it on there. Because sometimes what I've found is the spontaneous things, the things that just happen and letting it happen, that's where the beauty is. And sometimes that's where we're growing. Okay. I think I like this. So here's where the magic happens. And it's interesting because when I do watercolors and I add black line to it, then people really respond to that. And so I'm going to show you how to do that and what that means. I hope I said enough to understand. Play, fail, rip it up, paint over it, and have fun. That's the big thing. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras. Okay, so what happened here So I did these little flowers a couple years ago, just plain. And do you see, can you see these little black lines? They're just really spontaneous. So if you're struggling, do you see this? They're just these little, they go in and they dance, okay? And the nice thing about it, especially with watercolor, if you get an area that's a little like unsure or you're not liking it, just throw some lines in it. And then it can give you this next layer of spontaneity. So how do you do that? When you're using line in your drawings or painting, I buy, I think I got these at Walmart. You can get these pigment liners. There's some you have to be careful because in watercolor, it's wet, so some will bleed. So you want to test it to make sure that they don't bleed. And the fine line, the 0.05, see, can you see that? No, you can't even see that. Do you see how fine that is? You can do that. You can go a little bit thicker. And they make a brush pen. The problem I have with brush pen, you have to be, it can go really bold and really, really fine. I have troubles with it. The way I paint, I tend to be a softer, and sometimes it gets too strong for me. So when you're just starting, I would start with like a 0.05 or a point. Yeah, I think a 0.3 is good. So it's still thin. So what you're doing here, when I outline things, I do an organic line. I play. I let my pen dance on the page. So I don't really outline. I'm not outlining per se. It's a broken, let's see if we can see one. It's more of a, yeah, it's a broken line. So the thicker lines are closer to the center, and that around the outside, it's organic, raggedy, and broken. All right. So what I do here, let's see. Where's my picture? All right. So I'm going to come in here and start playing. See if it's wet, so I have to. And I'm going to go ahead and go around inside the tulip to get that cupping feel. And you see like this. Yeah. So I'm just letting my hand dance around. And then tulip, I'm going a little stronger here. Leaf. I love this. A little bit more smoother because I'm on the leaf. Oh, and then you see the grasses? I can bring those out here. The grass, I'll just come in here and let some of the blades go up into the area up there. Do you see that? I can't breathe. Sorry. Sometimes, do you see some of the grass? Oh, wait, I don't want that. Huh. Some of the grasses down here. I can pull those. So I'm not going to do too much up in here because it's already pretty well. It doesn't really need it. But do you see how adding a little bit of line in there? Just, it gives it a little bit something else. Another, I don't have any words. What word am I trying to use, Mark? Definition. It gives us some definition without, it supports the overall painting. There we go. And I'll take a picture of it, but I think it's good. It's good. And the one thing I'm missing on this, and it's really important, is sign your name. Because that's what makes it, that gives it the finish. All right. And I think we got it. Do we have any questions out there, Mark?
Not right now. Give it just a second.
Okay. Are there any questions out there? Yeah, it's pretty. Something I want to try though. Remember these, the crayons? What I thought about with the crayons are they're so, they have a lot of pigment in them. I was gonna see if they could. Okay. I'll show you what it looks like. The color just has more vibrancy. And I don't know if it's because watercolor by adding the water. Oh, that. It looked like lipstick, didn't it? And it had a lipstick feel to it. And it is wet. All right, I need to stop. I'm done. All right. It really doesn't look that bad. That doesn't look bad. Did you see that, Mark? Okay, that's how you do watercolors, right? I'll take a picture. I mean, it does balance the green. I'm gonna stop, okay? There we go. Try it, give it a try, play, and pop it in the group. Let's see what you got, all right? And yeah, talk to you later. Go have fun. Go paint. Get outside and paint. Bye-bye.